Yo, what's going on, guys? Back with another video again. Decided to do a solo video this time, so nothing crazy, nothing multiplayer. I thought that it would be fun if I gave like some world tours. Plus, I wanted to update y'all on my zombie map and how that's going. So that's what it's called. New idea, nothing crazy. Haven't changed it since I made it. But yeah, I'll give y'all a tour. Here we go. All right, so we're in. As you can see, my inventory is absolutely stacked. Just letting things load. But yeah, this is what the world looks like so far. I do have, what are they called? Mods? Add-ons? Yeah. I have two things installed currently. Soundscapes, which is to just enhance the audio, make it sound more realistic. And then a world builder add-on, helps me build faster. But yeah, this is the world. And as you can see, there's a million squares all over the place. These are plans for the future. Slash, buildings I'm working on right now. So that's the main city. I'll get there in a minute. Um, but yeah, let me know if you guys have any other ideas too, or if anybody wants to help me build as well. I would love that. It's all been solo work currently, so. All right, start off with, over here we have a military base. I still have to fill it up with a bunch of vehicles, crates, and then damage it. Maybe, I don't know. Just getting some ideas in. So over here, we have the main gate. You can go under here. It's partially broken. And you just got a little check-in thing right here. Same on the exact other side, except the light's on this time. You come through here, and so yeah, you got the military base. I think these are barracks. Yep, I was right. It's been a minute since I've actually been in this part. And then over here, I think it's a garage. I can try to fit a vehicle in here, but I might just do crates. And then over here is, I think, just a screen of some sort, some like security areas over here. Yeah, pretty much just checking out the whole place. And then actually, if I go back out, you can see more security, which are those towers that I built. All these things. And you can actually go in every single one of them, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'll just give you all a look really quick. This is what it looks like. Pretty protected. You got the big wall too, or I guess fence. Kind of busted in though, so you might need to patch that up if you're ever planning on staying here when this map is ready to be downloaded. Over here, it's an idea for a shooting range of some sort, or at least that was my first idea, but now I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. Either way, I still have to fill in the space, and I'm open to any ideas. Also, I won't be going through the full map too because I don't want to spoil everything for you guys, and I just want to make the playthrough more fun for y'all. So, anywho, good old American flag. And now here's a map of the whole place. I think I have to update it again, which, oh gosh, it takes me forever. But this is what it looks like so far. Again, you can see all the outlines of the buildings and whatnot, and I still have to change that. Um, you can see all the railroads here. They're connecting to over here, which is, I think, the main railroad station, if not like a factory, like industrial area. And I might expand it, but I'm not too sure. That, you'll find out what that is when you play the game. This area is going to be like suburban homes, same for a little bit in here, and then around this point too, but nothing too crazy in here. So I want to fill in the space, basically. Obviously, this is the military base. There I am, or at least that's where I started making the map. Over here, it's just open space, and then I actually had plans for building like a big old neighborhood here, but I'm not really sure. Obviously, here's the main city. You can see all the main roads and the intersections and everything. The highway still needs to be shown here, but oh my English. The highway still needs to be built here, but I have the railroads below it, and then obviously the highway, it's right there and it's right above it. And then that, you'll find out what that is later. And then that's just a building. I'm planning on like building a smaller city out here, but it's going to be mostly destroyed, so I got to kind of like spread it out. Um, so yeah, this is my to-do list, which I should probably not show y'all because I don't want to spoil anything. But what I do want to show is some factions. So we have the DTR, which is the Dallas, Texas regime. So what my ideas are currently is I'm going to have like factions and groups and campsites and all of these separate areas built throughout the map, and you can see it by, I think, the colors of their campsites. So like one might be blue and maybe yellow, or just a variety of colors to differentiate the different factions. And so you can find different campsites across the whole map, and yeah, and take it from there. Again, it's just a basic idea, but that's one of them. Then we have the IDD, which is the Iowa Division of Defense. Then the NVC, which is the National Vault Corporation, which I'm going to be planning to build, I think, 3 or 4 vaults scattered across this whole place. And then there's just smaller gains and people just generally trying to survive this wasteland, such as scavengers or pillagers and general survivors or strays, etc. Some of the lore, which is just like the most simplified version of the lore you can ever have, is this. So here we go. A long time ago, nukes were dropped to save society and the human race as a whole. That failed, which only made things worse. The world is now a whole lot worse now. Good wording, me. Zombies roam the streets among the remaining scavengers. That is the most basic I can go. But I can probably expand the board, I think, out here too, if I wanted to like go full on lore drop on y'all, but I can save the story for when y'all actually play it. So anyways, carrying on with the tour. I think these are just extra storage buildings of some sort. You just got a garage door and whatnot. This one's partially open. There's going to be loot scattered throughout here, but these are missiles. Then coming over here, you can't get in there, but you see it's open. So you come around here, open the door, bam. Just a bunch of loot crates and military crates, and you can just carry on from there. So the idea was this was an old, like, some type of old place where these big warehouses used to be. I think I might connect it to the railroad in some way, but I'm not too sure. But anyways, these are older style buildings, and they were here long before this military base was ever set up. But now that it's here, these are stuck here, but they're now used as hangars. So you got 2 of them. They're basically the exact same. You still got the wooden beams, but you got lights put up and then separating it. Then obviously you just got the runway, which is going out there. And then you even got a back entrance here, which I'm going to, I think, block off with some fencing, which can also lead to the railroad as well. Let's see, what else? Same exact one, basically there. Just a watchtower in most corners. The main 2 hangars here. That's a little secret, which I'll show you guys later. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Lights are not in here, but I'm planning on maybe adding just a few. It's just a bit dark in here, and I don't want a bunch of mob spawning when I actually turn on mob spawns, so I'll have to figure this out. But either way, there's going to be planes and a whole bunch of military gear, like, everywhere throughout the map, so, and same for there. And these are smaller vehicle vehicle hangars as well, so they can drive out on the runway. And then obviously the runway continues over here and it connects, and then just a smaller hangar right there, and then you got the like an airport tower of some sort for communications. And it actually has a great view too, especially if you have your render distance up. I think mine is at 36 or so. Either way, pretty good view. And at some point, I'm actually planning on transferring this world over to Java Edition, or at least PC of some sort. That way I can actually install good mods instead of just downloading stuff from the boring marketplace, which costs $1 million every time you buy something. Anywho, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But in general, this place has a really nice view of here. Ignore that floating cube. I'm working on making a building. So I could give you a tour of this place really quick. And I think I'm going to add vines like all over most buildings because I don't want this place, like, I don't want the whole map to be super overgrown, but I want it to be inspired by something like The Last of Us. So here we go. You just got some crates, and you can actually hide under here too if you wanted. And I might make a lower level, but I don't know if that'd make too much sense. Just general spiral staircase, so sorry if this is busy for you guys. And bam, we're at the top. So it's just a general control center, and I'm probably just gonna, whenever I'm transferring the worlds, I might transfer it. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how I want to set this up because I really want the world to um, have like actual land, like mountains and, you know, everything like a normal generated world would have. Oh, but I'm not sure how I do that, or if I should just build a big wall, which is what I initially did make, but I took it down just to expand the map, but now I kind of want it back just to add some sort of border for the players because I don't want them to go, you know, everywhere. So either way, I'm still trying to figure it out. So yeah, pretty good view. I'll make it back down and I'll spare you guys' eyes. All right. Just another hanger here. The fence continues off and then the runway continues out here. And then I want to make it more overgrown than this, just a little bit. And then if you see these giant red towers every now and then, like one over there and one over here, and I think there's one way over there. Those are like ideas or like checkpoints that, or markers that I want to add something to. And so, for example, I want to add a giant plane crash here, at least on the runway, either going this way or this way, like it was going to land. Let's see. I built this landscape all myself. Basically everything you see here besides like most of the trees. So actually how I made the world was I went on the original editions of like the PS4 edition or Xbox edition if you want to call it that too. And I generated a flat world, but I made the world generate like a normal world, at least somewhat underneath. So there's actually caves under here, which I can show you. So yeah, there's caves under here. It sadly doesn't go as low as I want it to be, and there's no like stronghold or anything like that. There might be a couple mine shafts or anything, but I still wanted the player to be able to what's the word? I still wanted the player to be able to explore as much as they could, even like underground, just as much as like a normal world would be. But I don't really necessarily want them finishing the game because this is supposed to be more like a survival map, like a survival zombie map that you'd get off of like the store or something. Anywho, I'm probably going to add like a giant wall of some sort just to block off players to an extent. Why am I passing this? The road might continue out there. Same for the runway, just a little bit more. And then this is the good old warehouse. Oh, and we even got a shipping crates out here. It's a big old cargo yard. Actually, this place with shaders looks beautiful. I think, yeah, one of my friends actually did a trailer for me. I uploaded it as a short on The Artist 2008, which is the channel I think I'm going to post this to. I'm not very sure yet, though. But either way, he did a trailer for me, and he was touring the map, but I've actually made like a million changes since then. But as you can see, I still have so much work, especially since I'm doing this by myself. Anywho, yeah, all of these designs are coming from my brain, so hope you guys enjoy it so far. Sorry if I'm yapping too much. Okay, so the railroad actually continues all the way from over there to here, and it was insanely difficult to get this like exact curve that I wanted. Is I had to place all the blocks like odd. It was so weird, but I managed to do it, and I managed to actually make it look fairly good for Minecraft. Anywho, so it comes over here, and then bam, you're in the train station. There's actually a row that's overgrown too over here, and everything just kind of blending everything together. So here we go. Good old train car right here. You've probably seen the inside of this. Got some holes and whatnot, overgrown places all over. But yeah, this is the first one, and it's actually, I think I ended the track. Yes, I did, with a little stopper. Don't be using those wither skulls now. Don't get any ideas. Um, you can actually go this way or this way. Let's go this way first. Travel through the overgrown section over here, and then bam, you hit the fence. And you can either go in here, which is kind of like an open area, or ish. Either way, I think there's crates in all of them. Yes, there are. I still have to put loot throughout most of the map, but from what I have right now, I think all I need to do is just, place loot there, or maybe just place a couple more boxes or whatnot, just for like decoys. But I made it kind of like a little parkour section, You can go through here, and there's actually a hole, which makes you go up here, and bam. So yeah, just these little fun things that I added. So that's the little cargo yard, and it actually comes out over here, which will lead you to the big neighborhood over there that I'm eventually going to build. So this is the factory that I made. Nothing too crazy, but I think I have lava down in here, don't I? Yes, I do. All the vines are burning too and everything, so they can't grow that far, actually. Well, you might see it in a minute if it keeps going down. But yeah, good old factory still going, still smoking like crazy. Alright, so here we are. Good old factory. So if you climb down here, you can see all the holes. It's just, oh, holy, like, overgrown, man. It looks great. Here we go. Walking in. Super dark. But I love how the light just beams through the roof. That's why I did those holes unintentionally, too. And I actually made the vines go to, like, halfway. But I think having them fully grown is even better, because now you can actually climb it like a ladder, and you can access the roof if you really wanted. But there's like a little bridge over there. Just general crates. It's overgrown, whatnot. And I think there's a ladder right here. Yes, there is. Climb this thing. This will get you to the top, which I just pointed out. I don't really have anything up here. I think it's just to explore. I might add some crates to make it, a reason for the players to explore this, but that's what I have so far. Come over here. Bam. You see the city. Oh man, once this thing is done, this is probably my biggest project yet so far. It's just, oh man, I'm excited to see how it turns out at the end. But yeah, just let me know if I should keep working on this and keep posting videos for you guys. Alright, so here is the main attraction of this area. Well, I mean, that's pretty close, but this doesn't beat that. Here we go. It just got this little section in here, and then bam. Again, it's kind of like the factory with the light shining through, and it's pretty dark, but there's going to be crates scattered throughout like that. Holes in the wall so you can go in and out of certain areas. And then obviously you got another train car right here. And I think you can go in it. Yeah, it's pretty dark though. Pretty spooky. Again, there's more holes that you can go out of. Just more freedom to really go everywhere. And then I really like how the light is like shining down through here too, especially with shaders. It looks amazing. And then what I did on that end, I did on this end as well. Just that little gap right there, and then bam, you're out. So yeah, that's the what do I call it? The industrial section. And then I think the track, yeah, it continues out here, and then it goes past the road. I might make it go up one, but I'm not too sure. And actually, originally, I did have these stone stairs as anvils, and I was like, if the player's going to be exploring and they still need to break blocks and, place blocks, I don't want them to be having a million anvils. Plus, they don't render in fully, too, unlike blocks. So I was like, why not change it? Plus, it looks good anyways, too. So yeah, Um, that's that. Then it obviously passes the road, and then this is going to be the neighborhood. And I said I'd wait to show you guys this, but I'll just show you the entrance, which is this really quick. So this wasn't actually inspired by Fallout or Fallout 4, which is one of my favorite games I've ever played, thanks to my dad. Thank you, man. Um, and so, since it was inspired by Fallout or like Fallout 4, those type of games, there was always a secret vault, like for example, Vault 1 of 11, built in like some type of suburban neighborhood, for example. And so once I get houses going in here, that'll make so much sense. And so here we go. Here's the entrance. It's partially open. If you want to go down it, you can, but how do you get out, Nah, screw it. I'll go down. But I won't go everywhere. Bam. Looks like some type of missile silo, huh? Or maybe an elevator shaft. Something like that. And then bam. Creepy tunnel. I won't go down there. That'll be for you guys to explore. But as I said, there's going to be a ton of secrets just scattered throughout the whole map. So it's really just focused on exploration. And I really do want some type of help just to at least like furnish most buildings or whatnot. Because I think all of them have rooms or at least some type of walls on the inside of each floor. But I would say most of the buildings are purely empty, and I don't really want that, especially when I'm building a big city like this and I want people to explore all these buildings and I want there to be a reason, you know. So I gotta try and I gotta figure a way past that, but I'll make it. Anywho, again, you can see this giant red pillar just like way over there. Ideas for neighborhood, like I told you. Let's see. So we did the industrial section, that little bunker, military base, just not the big city. I mean, I can go over here, but I don't want to spoil too much. Let's just say the road travels over there and there's going to be more buildings. So I kind of wanted this to be like a center of some sort. I was thinking of building like a Capitol building or something big right there. Then there's more buildings right there, and then they'll just scatter out and then whatnot. Trust me, we'll get to this big guy in a minute. All right, as you can see, guys, got a good old interstate, or at least some type of highway. And I think, yeah, this was not shown on the map. I still need to update it and everything. But what I do have is a railway below this. And yeah, that connects all the way over there. And even like I detailed all the underside of this too and everything. And I actually had to count, yeah, I had to count the blocks too. I think it was like 30 blocks or so, 31 maybe, 32 with the gap in between. But yeah, I got that curve right. It just took me forever, especially to like space the blocks too, like these little markers as well. Took me forever, but either way, I think it looks pretty good. I still have to add those like big signs and some type of like ramp to get on or something. And then I was thinking of maybe destroying it here or maybe a little bit farther back, or I might add it, make it go just out forever, quote unquote. But we'll see. I've got a ton of ideas. Um, yeah, the train track continues all the way that way, which can lead over to the military base. And then obviously it goes over there, which is the industrial section. So yeah, nothing too crazy to see here. You do have this extra path, which I might make smaller, but I'm not too sure. Either way, it's pretty overgrown, but it's not an actual like road like in the city. Hello. But if you follow me, Here we go. But if you follow the path, I think I am going to have to clear out these trees if I want to continue the path because it just kind of just stops in place, which looks a little strange. But anywho, if you follow this, this was my idea for like the neighborhood of some sort. But I actually like have this as the original spawn for players, and then they can travel out there to see the city. But I don't know, I still have to figure everything out. But since this is technically spawn currently, I am going to leave this build here for sure. But since this is spawn, I might as well show you guys around. So you got these sandbags, so it shows that somebody was posted up here with guns or something, trying to barricade everything. Before we go in, let's go around. Very overgrown. There's a back door. Barred up windows, everything. Alright, let's go back to the front. Here we go. Bam! Originally I did have this blocked off, but I was like, I don't want the player to go in the front or the back. But the black, oh my, the back is blocked off, so you'll have to go around the front. Generally here, just have a living room, good old painting, bookshelves, blocked off, barred off, back door. Good old seat, looks pretty splintery. Anywho, here's the kitchen / the other part of the room, and be careful of zombies because they might be able to come to the roof. So you might need to patch that up if you're planning on staying here. A good old jukebox, and then just the sink. It's overflowing. But yeah, this is where the player will spawn. Probably right here. Alright, time for the big city. I'm not going to explore every building, but I will go fly around most areas. So, actually, let's go over here. For the streets, this is, I think, one of the biggest parts besides making all these buildings is decorating the streets. I want to make it feel cluttered because right now, sure, it looks good, but I think it just looks too flat. There's like nothing going on. And so I am going to be I can't speak, it's so late right now. I am going to be pasting or placing, rather, goodness gracious. I'm going to be placing a ton of grass blocks here. Just grass and foliage and plants and bushes, everything, trees, you name it. If it's vegetation, it's going right here. Anywho, this is actually plans for the building, which is that big guy right there. I think I changed the foundation, but my building process is with that world builder right here. I just select an area, and then I paste it, and then I basically build the building in the sky where I have as much room as I need, and then I can make any change I want, and then I actually get rid of all the red, which like that, when I'm building, and then I just keep the base so I know where to place it. But if I have parts of the building that go up still, it won't like ruin it. So that's how I do that. So yeah, anyways, continuing about the streets, I just think it's too flat. So I want to add a lot of vegetation, trash cans, just something. Vehicles especially too, like this. That's why I have a bunch of vehicles pasted here. Just a bunch of variety of vehicles, trucks, general cars, ambulances, everything. And so I just want to copy and paste them around the map, or maybe even just build them by hand and make them more worn down. Street lights, of course, barricaded sections just kind of block off the player from going everywhere. Just kind of have some sort of linear path. But yeah, just clutter the streets. That's, I think, one of the biggest parts of making this map, besides actually making a story and building all the buildings, as you can see here, which, good lord. Now that I realize that, oh man, I mean, I've gotten pretty far. It's just pretty big project, man, especially by yourself. So yeah, I'll just fly around now. So here we got a hospital, and I am gonna add a radio tower somewhere. So it might be over there. You might go find it somewhere. You'll see. Hospital, very overgrown. Again, I'm gonna try to do that to most buildings because it just kind of looks out of place if this one's the only guy, and then well, like with vines, and then none of the other ones really have anything going on. But I'll get there. I thought it was actually really cool because I did have it planned to be two separate buildings, but then I was like, this would be really cool if it was a hospital but with a sky bridge. Um, Kind of reminds me of like colleges with sky bridges or, some type of building downtown. So yeah, you'll have to cross this. I might make it broken in the future. Who knows? This is all subject to change. Um, Got good old ambulances here. You can still open the back. There's a good old bed. You can actually even go in the front too as well. You can still get out. Just good old parking spaces. Same for over here. And there's like a lot of little spots. But when this place has shaders on, man, the sun just beaming up in the sky and all the like light rays coming down and all the shadows over the city, it just looks great. Especially at nighttime too. It looks really cool. Um, what else? Just general buildings. Most of them are just kind of like office buildings, apartment buildings, just general buildings you'd see in a city. But this one is a good old hotel. It says S&D Hotel. Now I wonder what S&D stands for. Welcome to Steve and Dustin's Hotel. Let me know if y'all get the reference. You should. It's pretty obvious. But yeah, it's just a general office building. I'll fly in one of the floors just to show you. But yeah, good old dreaded cubicles. Anywho, carrying on, we have a retaining wall of some sort, or at least a wall placed by the military or something. And so this actually blocks off parts of the city, so you'll have to find keys or you'll have to find something. I'm going to make it so you can't break this, and so you'll have to find something to get past this to get into this main section. And so for now, you're stuck out here. Again, you can go on almost every floor, or I think most floors are, yeah, you can go on every floor. So it is a hotel, and so, for example, you got the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, closet. And then there's different styles of rooms here too. There's 2 rooms there, and then there's I think 4 or 3 rooms here. Um, let's see. So yeah, and there's actually a bunch of these like doors or gates as you'd call it, scattered throughout the map, which I will show you right now. Not here. I actually did have one here, but I was like, this would be cool if it was like a hole in the wall, and so now you can actually go through here. Um, but since I had the idea of blocking off certain areas until you can find a point, I think this is kind of useless, and so I might just block it off with bushes and vines and stuff, so you can still see through somewhat. You just can't get past yet. Um, this is a good old building. I just mashed together a bunch of parts, like just external parts, and made it jut out and just made it look 3D and really cool. I think it's one of the most unique buildings I've ever made, shape-wise. But I made it an under construction building, so it wasn't even finished. Still supposed to go super high, and you can see all the blocks sticking out for foundation and whatnot. Um, but yeah, and then you got a good old crane that was making the building, or at least a building at some point. And I had an idea of the player, once they get to the top of here, they can jump off onto the crane, travel across, and then they can actually reach inside this building, which might be, I don't know, I want it either collapsed or something, a big old hole in the side because the crane literally crashed into it. So I want the player to be able to cross this into the other building because they won't be able to get into it from the bottom because it'll be all like collapsed or barricaded or something by somebody. I actually wanted to change up things and have diagonal buildings, so that's kind of a pain to work with, since it's not on the good old square axis. But I think I have multiple of these. 1, 2, and I think I have a third one over there. Yes, I do. This is Supermart, inspired by Fallout again. I think it was actually Oh my god. Supermart. This build was actually inspired by Fallout again. I love Fallout, man. I can't help myself. It's such a good game. So I got good references from here. Let's see. I don't want to go in it just to not spoil everything, but there's a hole in the roof and it might go all the way through. Um, let's see. I think, yeah, this is one big parking lot. And then this is like a delivery section, just kind of like a side entrance that you can go into as well. Let's see. So most of this section was actually added on. Originally, it was just like that wall and whatever was in it, and then just a little bit past was it. Like that was it for the whole city. And I was like, this isn't a city, and especially for these big buildings like in the downtown area, like nobody's gonna explore just one, two, three, four, five, six, maybe like 6 to 10 buildings, and then that's it. Plus, that's not a city, man. You know, it has to be huge. And so I was like, I gotta expand it, and bam, here we go. And so I'm just kind of expanding slowly outwards with some ideas like this. Say, for example, you know, these aren't finished yet, but this is for the most part. Anyways, carrying on, there's going to be like big sections too, like blank areas that are going to maybe be a park or areas for trees or some type of parking lot space or a campsite, something. So, because I don't want to build like everything and fill every bit of space with just buildings because I don't think that would look too good, especially if it's apocalyptic and I want it to be overgrown a lot of the time. Speaking of a campsite, you have this side building here with a little parking lot here, but this is going to be the symbol for a campsite. Bam, safe zone. And here you go. This reaches here. This actually brings you through the wall, but now you can't get past. You can't get back in. So if you go over that, it's a decision you make. I mean, sure, you could go around, but it might take you a bit. Especially if there's zombies roaming the streets. Anywho, this is actually a townhouse slash suburban area. And now one of the biggest changes I actually just did today was expand this wall from literally there, because I just had like a small space and I was like, I don't want to just plant trees there. I don't think it would look great. I don't really know what I'd put here. I might just expand like some type of building here into here and here, or some type of wall, something to like split off this from other buildings. But when this wall was actually there, the road, there was actually a bunch of trees, and I just didn't like how it looked. So like the spacing looked off because it went from super tall to short and then shortest. And I was like, that doesn't look great. And so I actually shortened this building here. It was originally like almost to that. And I was like, that just looks so strange because it needs to be a gradual like kind of slope going down. And so I might just do shorter buildings or maybe a little bit taller than that to just fill in this space and then build like a brick wall separating the suburban like townhouses from the city. Carrying on, this is a weird intersection of roads. I have no clue what I was doing. It took me forever to build, especially with all these markings, but you know, I think it works. You can come around here. This is the plan for the second part of the city. And again, you got that slope going up, you see? That's the strat, man, I'm telling you. And then this big guy, and that guy, I guess. I won't fly all the way over there, but you can see it from here. And you got that big old building right there, which I'll make completely destroyed. It just got blasted. So this, I think I originally wanted it to be some type of big old survivor camp, and it kind of looks like that with the wall. Again, it was inspired by I think Fallout New Vegas with the wall, but I was like, it's in the middle of the city, like kind of. If I keep expanding it this way, it just looks weird, and I think it's too big for like a survivor camp. There can't be that many people, and so I was like, maybe a prison, like a big old prison. But why would that be in a city unless it's like freaking Gotham or something, bro? And so I was like, I should make this a big old Capitol building Plus, that would be a challenge to build. It would look sick, and then the wall might make sense. Or I might just get rid of the wall altogether and then move this wall and like make it super small and then just have it as a little section, but still the Capitol building here, just to add some type of interest, and still keep this design because I don't want to build all this for nothing. But either way, something big is going to go there. Again, the city's going to continue down over here, same for over here, and then that. I can't fly over there, no. But you'll find out what that is. So yeah, that's what the city's looking like so far, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if I was talking like holy yap session, but hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if I should keep posting about this world. See you guys.